Hello students, good afternoon everyone. It's me to take your chemistry 1 class. The last two classes we have explained the Rutherford's atomic model and Bohr's atomic model. In this class we will compare between these two models. Today our topic is comparison between Rutherford and Bohr model. Before going to comparison, at first we will review the Bohr's atomic model again. Bohr's atomic model. Look, this is the Bohr's atomic model. Here this is nucleus and electrons are revolving around the nucleus in some circular orbits. These orbits are designated by K, L, M, N, etc. shell. According to Bohr's theory, electrons revolve in definite circular orbits around the nucleus. The angular momentum of an electron is an integral multiple of h by 2 pi. That means angular momentum mvr equal nh by 2 pi. As long as the electrons revolve in a particular orbit, they can neither gain energy nor lose energy. An electron can jump from an orbit to another orbit. And when an electron jumps from an orbit to another orbit, the amount of energy emitted or absorbed is obtained in the form of radiations. The amount of emitted or absorbed energy daily equal h nu. And it explains the stability of an atom and also the line spectrum of hydrogen atom. Now, this is the gist of Bohr's atom model. Bohr has corrected all the limitations of Rutherford's atomic model, but still it has some limitations. Though Bohr's model has corrected all the limitations of Rutherford's model, but it has also some limitations. They are: Bohr's atom model can explain the spectral line of hydrogen atom, and the ions having one electron like helium ion, lithium 2 plus ion. Look, all these ions have one electron. But it cannot explain the spectra obtained from larger atoms with many electrons. This is a great limitation of Bohr's atomic model. According to Bohr's model, when an electron jumps from an orbit to another orbit, a single line of spectrum is supposed to appear. But when a spectrograph is developed, then two or more lines very close together are observed. Bohr's atom model cannot explain these multiple lines in atomic spectrum. Moreover, it violates the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. The Bohr atomic model theory considers electron to have both a known radius and orbit, such as known position and momentum at the same time, which is impossible according to Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Because according to Heisenberg uncertainty principle, the exact position in orbit and momentum of a very small particle like electron cannot be determined at the same time with good precision. It has also some more limitations. These are: according to Bohr's model, electrons revolve in circular orbits, but modern research reveals that electrons revolve in space in three-dimensional order. It failed to explain the Zeeman effect when the spectral line is split into several components in the presence of a magnetic field. Now, what is Zeeman effect? Under the influence of magnetic field, the atomic line spectrum is finally divided into multiple lines, which is called Zeeman effect. And also, it failed to explain the Stark effect when the spectral line gets split up into fine lines in the presence of an electric field. Now, what is Stark effect? Under the influence of electric field, the atomic line spectrum is finally divided into multiple lines, which is called Stark effect. All these are the limitations of Bohr's atomic model. Now, dear students, we know about the Rutherford's atom model, its limitation, and Bohr's atomic model with its limitation. From there, we have to compare which model is better or which model is more acceptable. Now, the comparison between Rutherford's atomic model and Bohr's atomic model. Prior to Rutherford or Bohr, most people believed in the plum pudding model of an atom. This model explained the atom was about the same consistency throughout and had electrons scattered on top. Rutherford used the famous cathode ray experiment to conclude that atoms contain a small, dense and positively charged core that we now call the nucleus. Rutherford believed that the electrons within an atom moved around the nucleus in orbits, much like the planets move around the sun in our solar system. However, Rutherford's model could not explain the atomic line spectra. Bohr improved Rutherford's model by proposing that electrons travel in orbits that have specific energy levels. Bohr introduced the concept of electron shells. There were two drawbacks to the Rutherford model that were also corrected by Bohr. These two drawbacks are: it does not explain the hydrogen spectrum. Rutherford's model does not explain the hydrogen spectrum, and it does not obey Maxwell's equation. What is this? Maxwell's equation predicts that an orbiting electron should fall into the nucleus. Bohr's model is a defined, expanded model of Rutherford's atom that overcomes these two drawbacks. The basics are the same, that is, electrons revolve around the nucleus in paths called orbits. Just Bohr expanded on Rutherford's model in detail. Bohr used this model to explain the atomic line spectra of heated metals. In Bohr's model, Bohr explained that when atom gains or lose specific amounts of energy, the electrons move between the energy levels. When electrons gain energy, they jump to higher energy levels, and when the metals cool again, the electrons lose energy and drop back down to their ground state. In this process, light is emitted in packets of specific energies that correspond to the colors that are seen in the atomic line spectra. So, from the above explanation, we can tell that Bohr did not prove that Rutherford was wrong. Rather, he improved and extended the Rutherford's model. Rutherford's model and Bohr's model of the atom are in the same way that both they explained the movement of electrons around the nucleus. But Bohr corrected all the limitations of Rutherford's atom model. So from there, we can tell that Bohr's model is more acceptable than Rutherford's atom model. So, after giving Bohr's atomic model, another scientist, de Broglie, he also gave an equation. Now, de Broglie equation. The de Broglie equation is one of the equations that is commonly used to define the wave properties of matter. It basically describes the wave nature of the electron. Bohr explained the electron as a smallest particle, but it has also wave. At 1924, scientist de Broglie told that electron is both a particle and wave. Now, the derivation of de Broglie equation. From Planck's quantum theory, we know E equal h nu, where E equal energy of electron, h is Planck's constant, and nu is the frequency. And according to Einstein's theory, we know E equal mc square. Here m equal mass of the particle, E equal energy of photon, and c is the velocity of light. Now, from equation 1 and 2, we get h nu equal mc square. Now, from there we can write nu equal c by lambda. So, mc square equal hc by lambda. From there, c will be omitted and the equation mc equal h by lambda comes, where mc is the momentum of photon. Now, we got the equation mc equal h by lambda. Now, Broglie told that the equation is also applicable for any moving particles, that is not only for light or electron. For any moving particles, the equation is applicable. For any moving particles, momentum is not mc, that time momentum will be mv, when v is the velocity of these moving particles. So, we can write for any moving particles, mv equal h by lambda, or lambda equal h by mv. Now, here lambda is the wavelength of moving particles. This is the equation of de Broglie, lambda equal h by mv. This equation is not only for any electron or for only light. This equation is for every moving particle. That is, the wavelength of moving particle lambda equal h by mv, where m is the mass of the particle and v is the velocity of the particle. Now, relation between the wave nature of electron and its angular momentum. Electron moves as a wave around the nucleus in a circular way. Then the circumference of the circle will be the simple multiple of its wavelength. That means circumference 2 pi r equal n lambda. Now 2 pi r equal n h by mc, because from de Broglie equation we got lambda equal h by mc or h by mv. So from there we can write mcr equal nh by 2 pi. Now, velocity of light and velocity of electron is almost equal. So, we can use V instead of C. That means mvr equal nh by 2 pi, where V is the velocity of any moving particle or electron. This is the second postulate of Bohr's model. That means angular momentum mvr equal nh by 2 pi. So, in this way, this is also the relation between the wave nature of electron and the angular momentum of electron. So, now from this equation, de Broglie equation, I will show you here two problems. These are problem 1. An electron of hydrogen atom jumps into second shell by absorbing energy. In this shell, it rotates the nucleus at 1.2 into 10 to the power 7 centimeter per second velocity. Calculate the wavelength of this electron. Here, after absorbing energy, the electron jumps into second shell and its velocity is 1.2 into 10 to the power 7 centimeter per second. You have to calculate the wavelength of this electron. So here there are given velocity of the electron is 1.2 into 10 to the power 7 centimeter per second. I told you that always we will convert the unit into SI unit. So it will be 1.2 into 10 to the power 5 meter per second. Mass of the electron, you know, 9.11 into 10 to the power minus 31 kg. H is Planck's constant, 6.626 into 10 to the power minus 34 joule second. You have to find out the wavelength of electron. Now we know from de Broglie equation we know lambda equal h by mv. So here after putting all these values we get lambda equal 6.06 into 10 to the power minus 9 meter. Now I told you that nanometer it is better to convert it into wavelength it is better to convert into nanometer. So we will multiply it into 10 to the power 9 and the result comes 6.06 nanometer. And problem 2, the mass of an helium atom is 6.6 into 10 to the power minus 24 gram. It moves as a wave and its velocity is 2.4 into 10 to the power 6 centimeter per second. Calculate the wavelength of it. Here there are given the mass of helium atom and its velocity. Velocity 2.4 into 10 to the power 6 centimeter per second, that comes 2.4 into 10 to the power 4 meter per second. Mass is 6.6 into 10 to the power minus 24 gram. It comes 6.6 into 10 to the power minus 27 kg. Planck's constant given. You have to find out the wavelength of this atom. Here also from de Broglie equation we know lambda equal h by mv, and after putting all these values we get wavelength lambda equal 4.18 into 10 to the power minus 12 meter. So it will be 4.18 into 10 to the power minus 3 nanometer. So my dear students, today up to this I will not give you any homework today. You will practice these two math and see you in the next class. Goodbye everyone.